adversity will come to every person who reads this, and everyone who doesn't. Layoff, shortage, hurricane, flood, tornado, or any other manner of crisis will strike. Let me be clear. What follows is a guide to preparing food stores for your family and friends. Know that a failure to prepare is a preparing to fail. The warning has been given, and you've seen its words. So when those dark times come, you will have had warning. And if someone goes hungry or worse, then only you are to blame. Preparing food storage for any budget, wisely and sensibly. Now, whether you are rich or poor, living with more extra income to make your food preps happen, or just getting by on SNAP's help, you can prepare. There are several basic things you need to keep in mind. Buy extra of what will store when you buy. Single quote, mix your use in long-term stores in the same place. You will use them. Store food in more than one place. Use the 5-stage plan * see below *. Single quote, going reckless debt for a prep. Single quote, store things you don't eat. Store healthy good items and eat them now. Keep sustainable eating in mind where possible. Diversity of menu is a major concern. How will you prepare and serve it? Plan how you will share your increase before adversity on you and after. These steps are fairly self-explanatory, with the exception of the 5-stage plan. So I will start there. Over several sittings, perhaps many, approach each of your preparations with a mind expecting each plan to fail at some point. Number your plans 1 to 4, 1 being the best case, and each one getting less desirable but covering when circumstances void the one before it. Your 5th and final stage plan will be the desperate but needs to be thought out as well. Most often it will be to revert to a very dangerous/reckless means of meeting the goal, or going to some untrustworthy source for assistance. As a food plan, stage 1, grocery normalcy. First year planning might be your simple garden, the grocery store, your freezer, and the pantry in your kitchen. Your stage 2 plan has to accommodate for when plan 1 is bust. So let's say you can get to the grocery at all for a time. Then your secondary plan might fall back on stage 2, short-term emergency pantry, where you could have dry goods and canned goods that came from the grocery, but fresh from bought is not an option. In a reasonable window you could have a short-term pantry that could last several years. Cans of soap, boxes of dry pasta meals, ramen noodles, canned meats, cereals, home canned items, and all manner of things. This could keep you up as long as your prep stores hold out, with little net impact of the outage on your diet. The limiting factor here is how long, well, and dedicated you are in the preparations. Once they are exhausted, then you are to plan 3. In most cases this may be stage 3, extended long-term pantry items. There are many options here. 30-year long-term storage food, Mylar bags, airtight buckets, and the such. These will expire at some point. What then you will have left in many cases is stage 4, sustained by self-production. This is what it sounds like, living off what you raise, grow, and or make. Don't assume buying some seeds and storing them as a plan. If you haven't invested time in learning these skills, get on it. If you don't have animals on hand, don't assume you will just find some. In many years of farming, I have never had a wild animal come up and jump in the pen and ask to be domesticated. You will need to tend and care for them, raise them, a means to kill and dress them, a way to store what you don't eat at that moment. In growing, the soil takes time to get to where it needs to be. Don't wait until you need to the food to address these needs. If that is your intent, then just come up with another plan, because this one won't fly without effort on your part. Lastly is the worst of all possibilities. Stage 5, surrender your life to another. This could be a trusted uncle, FEMA, or anyone else. In short, this is the point where you give up every right, choice, and freedom you have and turn your freedom in for bondage to another party. Now some notes on the above generic plan. The best plans have self-produced food sources in stage 1. The more you can produce, the better off you are. If you don't have the skills to do it, team up with those who do, or ask ones who do for guidance. Come up with a plan you can live with, because you are very likely to die without a well-thought plan. I can only imagine the pain and torment of deciding which one of my children will go without food. So where can you get food to store? Your grocery store will have noodles, soups, canned meals, sugar, flour, honey, tuna, and other canned items. They're cheap. Just make sure you check the product to see how long it will store. If it will store a few years, you win. Get the volume you want in your stores, then keep buying it and rotate it out with the first of what you bought. This will allow the A get accustomed to what you will be eating, and B, keep your stores as fresh as possible. Some other things you could do is home can. Get your veggies in jars, get garden surplus from friends, or buy it from roadside stands/farmers for a good deal when you can. Jar it and store it. You can cook meat as well, and have meals merely to eat. M&A instead of a mer, but still better than an no meal to eat. Don't go nuts and spend money you don't have to do it. Don't put yourself in crisis to prepare for a future crisis. Be steady and diligent in your preps, not just food. Keep your eye on the big picture. Preparing isn't for nuts thinking a zombie attack is coming. Everyone will have setbacks and troubles. We will all know someone who falls into a food need that we would like to help but can come up with extra on a moment's notice. Unlike all the other insurances you rush out to buy, car, home, dental, accident, travel, life and more, all these you spend money on with no promise you will get one bit of use out of it. With food you know you will use/can use it, so it is a zero risk, and as food prices go up over time you are making a sound investment in making sure famine never moves in your home. If you have questions or need some input, call on me. I will be glad to help you in confidence with your questions.